Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Last year when I decided to open the bench, I had a list of tools that I need that are absolutely crucial for me to perform any kind of repair. That includes tools like microscope, multimeter, solder station, soldering iron, the bench power supply, not necessarily the oscilloscope, but I also kind of squeezed it into that list. On top of that list, or below that list, I had another list of things that I would like to have that makes my job easier, but are not necessarily required. And one of those things is a thermal camera. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. I cannot think of any technician that would not benefit from this device, or thermal imaging in general, or ability for seeing the thermal image. And this one is a Topdon TC001. It's one of my greatest purchases, I must say, because one thing that always kind of prevented me from buying a camera was the price. $700-800, even $1,200 for something that is actually useful. And what do I mean by actually useful? You need decent resolution to actually find the component that is shorted. If you're looking for a capacitor this tiny, you need decent resolution. I don't mean you need HD, but you need decent resolution enough to actually see that hotspot if you're looking for a short. But looking for shorts with this camera, that's just the tip of an iceberg. You'd be amazed how many devices you can diagnose just seeing thermal patterns. And not only devices, pretty much everything around you. This camera opens a completely new world close to your eyes, because your eyes don't pick up on infrared, right? So let's take a look at it. I'll show you what it can do, and we'll test it. Let's get to it. Alrighty, our first subject is this motherboard, which is shorted. Which component is shorted? We already diagnosed it with alcohol and stuff, and it took a while. Now with a thermal camera, it should go a lot faster, right? Okay, let's connect it. First, standing water, 19.6 volts. We are running. How am I going to do it? Turn off. Let's try to turn it off first. Okay, the board is off. The camera is installed on a very long extension cord. That's how I like to do it, so the cables don't restrict my movement. Now, when we switch to desktop, and this is our camera, and let's catch a rotation like this. Okay, that's the correct orientation. So that's our board. You can see the reflections, and you can see some heat spots already because the board did turn on, but you can pretty much see every component of the board. If it's in front of you, maybe it's a little harder on the video, but if it's in front of you, you can see exactly where components are. You can see the CPU. The only thing is that there's a fixed focus point and it doesn't adjust. So even if you put the camera too close, you see the image is going to be blurry. So that doesn't help much. So the perfect, I don't remember, it's in the manual, the ideal distance, and I don't remember what it was, but it's roughly this. Now let's turn it on and see what lights up. There you go. See how easy that was? It's our little buddy over here. Now let's see the actual temperature. 45 degrees and climbing. And what do we have here? There's something hot over here. 33, 36. So you see, at 30 degrees, you wouldn't really even feel with your finger. It would be a little warm, but it's very tough to find. I can see the CPU is dissipating temperature. But the finger is a very poor device to detect shorts. The other thing is the reflectiveness of the infrared. So as you can see on this thing, right, we can see the reflection, which means we can't really read the temperature. Now check this out. So this is a clear glass. You can see it on the other camera. You can see my hand on the other side. Well, you can't see my hand on the other side. You can see the heat signature from my hand. But my hand disappears behind the glass. Right? Because the glass will not let through infrared the same way it lets through the visible light. So that is a limitation of infrared that one needs to be aware of when trying to diagnose the devices from the outside. This is a hotter station. As you can see, compared to other items on the desk, it's warm, right? Since this is plastic, through some forms of plastic you can actually see through, and some, even the plastic bag will cover it. It depends, I'm not sure on what exactly, but now we can see the device from the outside. This is a power supply, right? And we can see that there's heat inside, right, going out to about 30 degrees Celsius. And let's see our monitor. This is the monitor, right? At the bottom we have the LED strip that lights up and creates a backlight, right? So we know where it is positioned. And let's see here. This is a mixer. As you can see, it's heating up on this side of the device, on the right side. And we can see that through the USB 38. That's a bit high. Something is heating up over there that requires either a heatsink or a fan, or both. A trusted computer. No heat signature. That would be interesting. Neither the keyboard. Okay, now we know it works, right? Now let's see what else we can use it for and how well it works. Here we have a fridge that stopped working. It stopped freezing. The freezer no longer produces ice and the milk is getting sour. What's the problem with it? I don't need to tell you. Look at all those heat spots over here. Let's see, the highest temperature here, 30 degrees, right by the door, the freezer door, and all around it, going as high as 31. And the problem with it is not that, because you can check the back, is this getting hot? It should be, and it is going all the way to like 40 degrees and radiating all that heat, so that is fine. I can show it to you from the back, but the compressor is what's getting hot. The compressor has probably used a faulty bearing or used up bearing. It produces a lot of friction or a lot of heat, and that heats up the fridge, even though the mechanism is, and the refrigerant is there, the refrigerant is doing its job, but the fridge is just warming up, just like this. The other thing you can check is the leakage. If you have, so let's look at it from this perspective, right? If we have any black spots, dark spots, that means the cold from inside the fridge is leaking. We can see a little bit of it here. Right, there's a little leakage over there at bottom left. But that's not the problem with our fridge. The problem is the heat coming from the compressor. Very quick diagnosis with thermal imager. Without the thermal imager, you just have to kind of guess and go through the methodical fault finding procedures. Okay, and here we have an H6 engine working in the morning. It's pretty cold, chilly. This is a fuse box. Let me move away a little. You can see two big relays that are heating up, and these two. I bet one of them, this one, yeah. This one's getting hot, and this one is responsible for a fuel pump. This is the one that you take off when you want to replace the fuel injector, or clean or do anything with the de-seal the fuel rail in any way. To drop the pressure, you need to remove this tiny fuse. But you can see if there was a short somewhere or abnormal current draw, we would see that in the fuse box. Now let's see what's getting hot in the engine. Obviously, the exhaustion collector. .38 degrees. It's morning, I just started it, so it's slowly getting warm. And you can pretty much recognize everything, right? That's how my car looks like in infrared. So, pretty cool stuff, huh? I carry it in my toolbox because you can use it virtually for anything. Any engineer can benefit from this little device, and since it's packaged so well, you can literally put it in your toolbox. Nothing's gonna happen to it. Now, how much is it? I bought this one for $220 on eBay about a month ago, maybe a little longer. I've been using it for a while. It already paid for itself on like day 3. Whenever I do any wiring job, electrical, installation, anything like that, right after I'm done, I turn it on and I analyze it with a thermal camera. And the customer is in awe, like, oh, cool stuff you got. $220. This is really affordable and it works amazingly. It's mainly because of this resolution of it, because that really makes it usable even for tiny electronics like this. This is something that every repair shop should have, especially that now you can buy just a device and you connect it to whatever you can connect it to. Normally cameras come with the screen and all that stuff. You have to pay for all that. It's the same thing, just missing all that other stuff that you can replace with the phone or with a computer. Very good stuff. Alright guys, definitely recommend it. This is not a sponsored video. I just bought it and I figured this is definitely worthy of spreading the word that this is a really affordable, really good camera. Thank you very much for watching. Definitely get one if you have any kind of repair shop, and I'll see you guys next time.